next month, or it could happen at WrestleMania 30. Preferably, I would like to see it happen at WrestleMania 30 because it gives Shawn Michaels something to do. If you don't have this match for Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 30, we're going to see him as a referee again for another Hell in a Cell match. I don't know what's been with Shawn Michaels being the referee of Hell in a Cell matches of late, ever since 2012. And that Era match, it seems like that's the only role they can put Shawn Michaels in. It's either that or Shawn Michaels comes back to promote something he's doing with outdoor television. I'd much rather see Shawn Michaels in a different role, something that we haven't seen him do in a while. And I preferably would like to see Shawn Michaels be one of those legends who kind of makes an exception and comes out of retirement. If Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair can come out of retirement countless times throughout their careers after being inducted into different Hall of Fames, both of them being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, it is a rare occasion that we see a Hall of Fame inductee from any Hall of Fame class come out of retirement. But I would like to see Shawn Michaels be one of those guys that makes an exception, because there's only one Shawn Michaels. I have said numerous times on this radio show that Shawn Michaels has never been outperformed in a big match situation, and even against Daniel Bryan, someone who knows Shawn Michaels considerably well, I don't think that Shawn Michaels for 1 minute is going to be outperformed by Daniel Bryan, no matter if he wins or he loses. But one thing that you can be guaranteed if Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan face each other, either before or at WrestleMania 30, is that we're going to see a pure wrestling match, and both Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan are going to bring the best out of each other. And it's going to be an impressive match. That's probably going to be the best match of this year's WrestleMania. And I think it fits perfectly with WrestleMania 30, especially with how many legends are rumored to be coming out of retirement. Now, if you can go back a couple of months, I'm going to throw you back a couple of months ago to an issue of WWE Magazine that had an article that kind of discussed what would ever happen if Daniel Bryan faced Bret Hart. I think this has been reversed now. Instead of Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart, they should be releasing an article. I'm speaking to the publication team of WWE Magazine. Instead of talking about a dream match like Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart, they should be talking about a match like Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan. It may be a long way away from happening, and I'm just kind of talking about a rumor that's been being talked about on discussion forums found throughout the internet, online, and been being talked about on social media, most of all on Facebook and Twitter. Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan's Twitter followers have gone through the roof, and the people that have joined their fan pages on Facebook have been outstanding ever since this face-to-face confrontation as part of the Hell in a Cell fallout. Wasn't expecting this, was expecting Shawn Michaels to help Daniel Bryan actually win the championship and give Daniel Bryan the benefit of the doubt. Really thought WWE were going to give him a bit of a break, but they didn't, and that really disappointed me, because that was my prediction for this match with Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. I was really hoping that Daniel Bryan was going to win, and I think picked Daniel Bryan as one of my pay-per-view predictions for this month's pay-per-view. Not really sure if I did or not, but I'm pretty well sure that I did. Was really hoping that Daniel Bryan was going to win. It really pissed me off. So obviously the direction now of Daniel Bryan's career is either he's going to be involved in a tag team match with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan teaming up against the Wyatt family, which is something, by the way, that I really don't care for. I mean, who out there would preferably like to see Daniel Bryan and CM Punk with how impressive of a team they have been in the past? Who out there would rather see CM Punk and Daniel Bryan face the Wyatt family opposed to Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan in a one-on-one match either before or at WrestleMania 30? This is a dream match that needs to happen. Probably not as much as Dave Bautista versus Brock Lesnar, or The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, or The Rock versus Bret Hart, something like that. A lot of dream matches I just mentioned there for you, if you've noticed, involving The Rock. Big fan of The Rock, hoping he's going to come back for WrestleMania 30, but it's probably not a match that's going to probably need to happen as much as Dave Bautista or Brock Lesnar or Sting and The Undertaker or something along those lines. It's certainly not in that category, but this is a match that needs to happen. Daniel Bryan needs to prove to himself that he's just as good as Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and that he can beat Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels needs to prove to himself if he's still the man. We still see this arrogance from time to time from Shawn Michaels. He really believes in his God-given ability. I have said numerous times on this radio show that Shawn Michaels has never been outperformed in a big match situation. So let's see if after 3 years of exile from Shawn Michaels can still get the job done. I have every reason to believe that Shawn Michaels can get the job done. I don't doubt Shawn Michaels for one moment. Shawn Michaels was literally possible of pulling anything from the first half of his career, and I said the second half of Shawn Michaels' career was desperately needed, because without the second half of his career, without those matches with the likes of JBL and The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels probably would never be remembered as one of the greatest of all time. Probably one of the greatest of his generation, from 93 to 96. But the greatest of all time from the last 30 to 35 years, probably not. Maybe one of the best of his generation, but not one of the greatest of all time. So that second half of his career really assisted in solidifying, if anything, Shawn Michaels' legacy. Big fan of Shawn Michaels ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, as the old saying goes, and will always be a fan of Shawn Michaels, no matter if the fans love him or they hate him. No matter how you look at Shawn Michaels, fan favorite or heel, he's always been a great performer. I mean, who out there can honestly say that Bret Hart had more 5-star matches than what Shawn Michaels did? I mean, how does WWE Magazine get off with writing an article about Daniel Bryan versus Bret Hart, two technical technicians? I understand that philosophy. I understand, that's a dream match because they are two in-ring generals who can really get the job done when it comes to submission-based wrestling. But how does WWE publication get off with publishing an article about a match that will never happen because of Bret Hart's concussion? Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan is what they should be talking about. That's what wrestling fans should be talking about, probably just as much as who The Undertaker will face at WrestleMania 30. And my prediction to win this match is Shawn Michaels. Now, some of you may say that he's saying this because he's a huge Shawn Michaels fan, and I will never deny on this radio program that I am a Shawn Michaels fan. I will never come on here and say that I am not a Shawn Michaels fan. Two things that I will never deny are being a Shawn Michaels fan and how much that I hate John Cena. No matter how much I try to give John Cena the benefit of the doubt, no matter how much he puts over talents like Daniel Bryan and the talents he's put over in the years that he's been involved with the WWE, no matter how many wishes the son of a bitch has granted, I will never put over John Cena as someone who is ultimately better than Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin because he is not in that category. No matter how many make-a-wishes the son of a bitch may grant, he is not one of the greatest of all time. Shawn Michaels outperformed John Cena on more than one occasion in his career. In that match they had at WrestleMania 23 from 2007, Shawn Michaels carried his ass. Big fan of Shawn Michaels versus John Cena WrestleMania 23, but you cannot say that John Cena outperformed Shawn Michaels, because if he did, he was the first son of a bitch who was lucky enough to do it. No one has ever outperformed Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was not outperformed in a championship match from the second half of his career, no matter if he won or he lost. And he really didn't win a championship when he came back. He won a tag team title with Triple H just to give an excuse for DX to win the tag team titles at least once in their careers, which is something they hadn't done up until that point. But Shawn Michaels, when it comes to one-on-one championship matches, he may have lost every one of them from the second half of his career as opposed to the first half, but he was never outperformed. John Cena didn't get it done, Randy Orton didn't get it done, and there's no way in hell someone like Daniel Bryan, someone who nobody ever heard tell of, only for a WWE deal he landed because of Shawn Michaels in 2010. The only little bit of acknowledgement Daniel Bryan had received before coming to WWE was the fact that he had wrestled on the independent level for about 10 years. Daniel Bryan was someone actually that a lot of independent wrestlers put over in interviews they did for me in the earlier years of HCW Entertainment Radio, and he's still someone that independent wrestlers are putting over because of the reputation that he had in companies like Ring of Honor, the same company that Samoa Joe and CM Punk came from, for those keeping track on your scorecards at home. Daniel Bryan, of course, came to WWE, was 0-10 with 10 losses in the loss column, and of course no wins in the win column. His first win in that column came at the expense of his NXT Pro from Season 2, The Miz, or Season 1, The Miz, and he goes on to win the United States Championship, holds that for a number of months, and eventually he's World Heavyweight Champion, the same title, the same category that John Cena is in right now. Obviously, it's being done to put over Daniel Bryan on Raw. They don't want to kill the Daniel Bryan buzz and the feel, because it's all about creating superstars of tomorrow. And I think the most effective way of doing that right now is by putting Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan in a match together. I think that it's the definition of pure wrestling, and I think it's a match that needs to happen. Maybe not as much as The Undertaker versus Sting or Brock Lesnar versus Dave Bautista, by any means, with all due respect to those matches, and Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels, of course, and many other dream matches that have been talked about over the years. Maybe it's not a match that is in dire straits of happening as much as The Undertaker versus Sting or Dave Bautista versus Brock Lesnar, but it is a match that needs to happen. It's a match, if anything, that needs to be getting out of the way and needs to be done. No matter if Daniel Bryan wins and is put over, or Shawn Michaels maintains his reputation of being someone who's been the main event, the icon, and Mr. WrestleMania. Let's see Shawn Michaels put his money where his mouth is, all of his claims on the line. Let's see him put the title of Mr. WrestleMania on the line, and let's see if Shawn Michaels still has the ability to outperform everyone in a big match situation. I have said it 150 million times plus on this radio show, 150 million times to be continued on this radio show, that Shawn Michaels has never been outperformed in a big match situation. That is a quote, ladies and gentlemen, from Hall of Fame announcer Jim Ross and many other announcers that have broadcasted Shawn Michaels matches over the years and provided color commentary. But it is a quote that remains true about 15 years after it's been said. Shawn Michaels has never been outperformed in a big match situation. So what gives Daniel Bryan the reason and the goddamn right to outperform Shawn Michaels in this match if it happens, either before or at WrestleMania 30? There really is no fucking reason why Daniel Bryan should outperform him or even defeat Shawn Michaels. Last time he won a one-on-one match was either 2009, 2010. Can't really remember the designated match or the opponent that he had. I'm saying it was JBL. If anyone out there can clarify it for me, I invite you to leave some comments at the bottom of this YouTube video along with your opinion on Daniel Bryan versus Shawn Michaels. But let's stop talking about matches that we know will never happen. Let's stop talking about the Daniel Bryan and Bret Hart matches or the Rock and Bret Hart matches. And let's start talking about matches that actually have a chance of happening, like The Undertaker versus Goldberg, or a match like Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan. It could be one of 3 huge main events, 3 or 4 huge main events for WrestleMania 30, and there is room for this match on the WrestleMania card. This is a match, though, that needs to happen. I'll go on record for saying it. Daniel Bryan versus Shawn Michaels